Hey, how's it going? My name's Waller. I'm the lead pastor at Live Church, a church on a mission to see churches thriving on our college and university campuses. You know, Jesus has this incredible call, an invitation that he puts forward to us to be fully alive in him. He promises us this full, radical, beautiful life. But for many of us, that doesn't seem to be our reality. We seem to live kind of in the mundane day-to-day, sort of resigned to a normal life, not a radical, unbelievable life. There's this scene in the scriptures that challenges me when I read it. It comes out of Matthew chapter 4. It says this, Jesus is walking through a place called Galilee, and he comes across two brothers. And as he sees them, they were casting their net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And follow me, he told them, and I will make you fish for people. I will make you fishermen. He gives them this new identity. Verse 20, it says, immediately they left their nets and followed him. If you fast forward a couple years, those brothers would become central to this movement that would transform the world. They would go from being pretty regular people to being the leaders of a movement that was transformative. It's incredible. How did that happen? I think we tend to look at this story and assume that maybe they were super special, they were in the right place at the right time. I mean, flip, Jesus asked them, come on, of course they were gonna follow. But there's actually something really important in what we read here about what it means to be a fisherman. The two brothers that follow Jesus, I think we assume that they were getting out of a life that they didn't like. But if you read about first century fishermen in a place called Galilee, what you'll discover is that they were doing pretty well. Fishermen had good jobs, they were enjoying their life, much like many of us. You know, many of you, maybe like me, trained to be a particular profession. I trained to be an engineer. And yet one day Jesus said, hey Robin, I'd like you to start leading a church. And so here I am leading a church. Jesus makes these calls to these fishermen, and yet they seem to respond. It is that radical willingness to follow that marks their lives. It wasn't necessarily that they were special, but that they were willing. They were willing to step in and be obedient to the call. The second thing that kind of blows my mind about this is that they weren't special in terms of ability, they were special in terms of obedience. They were willing to follow Jesus, not because they knew exactly where they were going or because they knew exactly what the outcomes were, because they knew exactly who they were yet. But they knew as they started to trust Jesus with their future, that there would be something beautiful in store. So my invitation is twofold to you. If you want to start to live that radical fisherman life of Jesus, that life of purpose, first, it starts with being willing to let go of the things you're holding on to. What are the markers in your life that you're hanging on to? Maybe it's your job, maybe it's your security. Are you willing to let that go? Secondly, are you willing to trust Jesus with your future? Allowing him to lead you, him to guide you, him to help you, him to sustain you. That is what it means to be a fisher of people and a follower of Jesus.